If you're 6'3" like me and 17, 18 stone, and you like to stand up for yourself, you're gonna get into trouble, aren't you? But I wasn't bothered about fighting. I thought I'll have a fight with anybody. Win, lose or draw, I'm out there. Shirt off, done and dusted. You know, what can you get? A few cuts and bruises, maybe on tooth missing, sprained nose or something. Man got cheeky to me, was getting it. Right hand straight on the
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I don't think I let myself down there, but I didn't want to get in the ring to then have a roll around. Didn't fancy it, but I was looking round for you. Even your missus was...
I worked all my life as a boxer to get to this point. I'm the #1 challenger, mandatory challenger, so I'll never get this slot again. I'll fight and I'll still beat him. No matter how I feel on the night, I won't feel.
I'm a machine! Me! And can anybody question who I am here? If I take come on! We're fighting men! My son! I'll fight him now, and I'll fight anyone in the building!
John Fury just headbutted Carl Froch during a face-off, and the entire boxing world has lost its collective mind. We're not talking about a little push or some heated words here. This is John Fury, Tyson's father, literally launching his skull into another man's face during what was supposed to be a professional promotional event. Witnesses say the whole thing exploded in seconds. One moment they're staring each other down, the next moment Fury's forehead is connecting with Froch's face, and security is scrambling to separate two grown men who clearly have zero interest in keeping things civil. The footage has already gone viral, and boxing fans are either calling it the most authentic moment in recent promotion or a complete disgrace to the sport.
From being like this to being the wildest person in the world in about a second and a half.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just how I am, you know, and things do. If I'm around rowdiness and fighting.
But here's where this gets absolutely wild. Eddie Hearn, the guy who's seen every kind of boxing drama you can imagine, came out and said something that's got everyone talking. He criticized the violence, called it unnecessary, said it had no place in professional promotion. Standard stuff, right? Wrong. Because in the same breath, he admitted that controversial moments like this are exactly what drives fight hype through the roof. Think about it. We're all here talking about John Fury and Carl Froch right now because of a headbutt that lasted 2 seconds. Hearn knows that drama sells tickets, generates pay-per-view buys, and keeps boxing in the headlines. So while he's publicly condemning the behavior, he's also acknowledging that this kind of chaos is sometimes exactly what the sports marketing machine needs to capture mainstream attention.
I mean, listen, it's boxing, it's family. John's John. Both goading each other. Both very personal. Both means a lot to everybody. Shouldn't have done it.
And Carl Froch, this guy is absolutely not backing down. He's going after John Fury with everything he's got, calling out his aggressive behavior and basically saying Fury's entire act is a joke. Froch believes Fury's antics are pure theater designed to create controversy rather than show any kind of professional boxing respect. He's mocking the headbutt, calling it a desperate intimidation tactic that has no place in modern boxing promotion. What's interesting is that Froch wants the focus to stay on actual boxing skill and competition rather than these emotional confrontations that turn into public spectacles. But here's the kicker. By responding so aggressively to Fury's behavior, Froch is actually feeding into exactly the kind of drama he claims to hate. Every time he criticizes Fury publicly, he's adding fuel to a fire that's already burning out of control.
He behaved like a thug in a disgusting manner, and then he's able to just laugh it off and joke it off and say, you know what, anyone comes near me, they're going to get a headbutt. So it's kind of justified what he's done. He's been vindicated for what he's done, as in, yeah, it's okay to go around like that and behave like an imbecile, and then still laugh and joke and still threaten to headbutt me in belly. I've told you what I think about headbutting this too, you know.
Now listen to this part. Johnny Nelson, who knows both of these guys personally, dropped some serious insight about what's really driving John Fury's behavior. According to Nelson, Fury is naturally emotional and tends to react impulsively when he's under pressure, especially during these high-stakes face-off situations. But Nelson's analysis goes deeper than just calling Fury hot-headed. He's suggesting that Fury genuinely loses control in these moments, that it's not calculated promotion but actual emotional overflow. The responsibility now, according to Nelson, is for Fury to maintain composure as the fight build-up continues. Because public expectations are skyrocketing, and every boxing fan in the world is watching to see if Fury can keep his emotions in check, or if he's going to completely derail this promotion with more controversial behavior.
The pressure is now on John to behave himself. He's distracted a lot of attention and talk, and I'm quite sure someone will have a word with him out. The authorities will have a word with him.
But wait, it gets even more interesting. John Fury himself came forward with a response that's got everyone analyzing every word. He admits he cannot change his natural personality despite all the public criticism flying his way. He apologized for his behavior, but then immediately followed that apology with a statement that basically said he's not going to pretend to be someone he's not. Fury emphasized his background, his personal identity, and suggested he's simply expressing himself authentically without trying to conform to traditional social expectations for public figures. What's wild about this response is that it's simultaneously an apology and a declaration that he's probably going to keep acting exactly the same way. He's essentially telling the boxing world that this is who he is, take it or leave it, and if you don't like his behavior, that's your problem to deal with.
I apologise to people for my behaviour, but I can't act. I'm not an actor. You know, I'm not a gentleman or I'd be relation to gentry round here.
Hold up, did you catch what Frank Warren said about all this? Warren, who's promoted some of the biggest fights in boxing history, expressed genuine discomfort with the entire face-off incident. From his perspective, this kind of behavior is completely unnecessary when you've already got a high-quality fight scheduled that people want to see. Warren believes boxing promotion should focus on the sporting competition itself, rather than these physical confrontations that turn promotional events into potential crime scenes. He's arguing that the fight itself should be enough to generate public excitement and interest without needing to resort to actual violence during press events. But here's what's fascinating about Warren's position. He's essentially fighting against decades of boxing promotion history, where controversy and drama have been used to sell fights to mainstream audiences who might not otherwise care about the sport.
Man's face in front of a hall with over 500 people, what do you expect someone to do? Pushing and shoving, and we all know Big John's quick-tempered, do you know what I mean? But he threw the headbutt first, so it is what it is. But I think when you're getting someone's first and you're tolerating and pushing someone's...
Isaac Lowe jumped into this conversation with an observation that's got everyone thinking differently about what actually happened. Lowe pointed out that provoking someone like John Fury in front of a large crowd is basically asking for trouble because Fury is known throughout the boxing world for having an extremely short temper. According to Lowe, this wasn't some unpredictable explosion of violence. This was the entirely predictable result of pushing a man who everyone knows has anger management issues. The incident highlights the serious risks involved in these emotional face-offs that have become standard practice in boxing promotion. When you put two men who genuinely dislike each other in front of cameras and crowds and encourage them to talk trash and stare each other down, you're creating a powder keg situation where pressure and public attention can trigger exactly the kind of reaction we saw from John Fury.
Who was it? I did that to? Because that Cuban did it to me, didn't he? In Ireland. Yeah. Went tap pump. It was fucking bloody one. Let me go and see it.
Go on, John! Give it to him, Dad! Show it his boss! Come on!
Here's where things get absolutely insane. Both fighters are now channeling all this drama and controversy into their actual fight preparation, and the training footage that's emerging is unlike anything we've seen before. John Fury is working overtime to prove his toughness is legitimate, putting himself through brutal conditioning sessions that look more like punishment than preparation. Meanwhile, Carl Froch is training with a determination that suggests he's taking this rivalry way more seriously than anyone initially thought. This isn't just promotional drama anymore. This has evolved into a genuine competitive challenge, where both men's reputations are on the line. Fans are watching every piece of training content, analyzing every workout video, trying to determine who's going to enter this fight in better physical and mental condition when that first bell rings. The pressure is building to explosive levels, as this confrontation transitions from verbal warfare to actual preparation for combat.
Another running video this morning, but not just a running video. I'm going to be the first man to fight a 3-time Hall of Famer, or just doing it myself. John Fury style. Running, bare knuckle, heavy bag, eating, living in the woods,
chopping trees, eating the filth of the earth. I'm doing it gypsy style. And I'm going to prove to everybody out there.
And get this, John Fury's training philosophy is completely blowing people's minds. The man is emphasizing what he calls his gypsy style approach to fight preparation, claiming he doesn't need professional coaching, modern sports science, or traditional gym systems that most fighters rely on. Instead, Fury is focusing on raw toughness training methods that include outdoor work and old-school physical conditioning that looks like something from 50 years ago. While some people view this confidence in unconventional methods as admirable, others are seriously questioning whether this approach can be effective against a technically skilled opponent like Carl Froch, who has access to world-class training facilities and coaching. This training debate has become another major talking point in the rivalry buildup, with fans arguing about whether Fury's old-school methods represent authentic toughness or dangerous overconfidence.
Yeah, anybody over 50, I'll fight him. 'Cause I'm a fighting man. Any man born from his mother, I'll fight him. Over 50 years old, on the hard road, in the ring, in the pub, in the back of a gypsy caravan site. You're not a fighting man, because I'll have a fight with you. I'll fight you for a fiver. I'll beat you for a tenner. I'll do you both for 15.
Now listen to this part because it gets even wilder. Carl Froch continues projecting absolute confidence by claiming he's willing to fight anyone over 50 years old, emphasizing his fighting spirit and competitive mindset that refuses to back down from any challenge. His statements reflect the tough, aggressive personality that defined his entire boxing career and made him one of the most feared fighters of his generation. However, these comments are also fueling massive online debate about whether this represents serious challenge talk or just promotional hype designed to keep people talking. Froch's words about fighting in unconventional locations and under unusual circumstances are adding even more drama to this rivalry narrative with John Fury. Fans are now discussing whether this represents genuine fight interest or if it's simply part of modern combat sports entertainment marketing, where controversy drives viewership and revenue.
And golden Carl Froch, and I know John Fury doesn't like Carl Froch. Carl Froch mentions him, although I haven't really watched much of Carl Froch's videos lately. But Carl Froch, I know, has mentioned John Fury in the past. He's had a go with John Fury. They actually talked about having an actual, was it an exhibition or a boxing type match? And John Fury, any man, anytime, was saying words to the effect of, "Oh, I'll fight you, Carl Froch, but the money has to be right." And Carl Froch basically said, "All right, well, if we arrange payment, it can go to charity."
But here's the kicker that nobody saw coming. The discussion between John Fury and Carl Froch has moved beyond personal insults and emotional confrontations to include actual financial negotiations for a potential fight. According to multiple reports, Fury expressed genuine willingness to fight Froch if the payment terms were satisfactory, even suggesting charity options as a possibility for organizing the bout. Froch appeared open to making the fight happen if logistics and financial arrangements could be properly finalized through official channels. This development shows that the rivalry may not be purely personal animosity, but also influenced by business negotiation factors that are common in modern boxing, where promotional value and revenue sharing play major roles in determining which fights actually get made. The fact that money is being discussed seriously suggests this confrontation could transition from social media drama to an actual professional boxing match.
What John does, he's very, very, very passionate around his sons when they're fighting, and it gets something out of him. I spoke to him, literally face to face, and I said, well, what is upset? He said, "I don't want people calling me out because I'll take any man."
Arthur Davies dropped some serious insight that changes how we should view this entire situation. Davies explains that the emotional intensity surrounding this rivalry is largely driven by John Fury's personality, especially when it comes to protecting his sons during fight buildups and promotional events. According to Davies, Fury's behavior is often fueled by genuine passion rather than calculated tactical promotion designed to generate headlines. Davies mentioned speaking directly with Fury, who stated that he doesn't like being called out by anyone and is willing to fight any man who challenges him regardless of the circumstances. This reflects Fury's genuinely aggressive mental attitude and his willingness to engage in physical confrontation when he feels disrespected. Davies' analysis highlights how personal pride and family loyalty play enormous roles in Fury's public persona, making this rivalry with Carl Froch more emotionally charged than typical boxing competition, where fighters often respect each other despite promotional theatrics.
I would never back against Carl Froch on the cobbles. Ever. But John Fury's a big old lump. There'll be some illegal moves in there. Do you know what I mean? But if they ever get close, Carl will be swinging.
Eddie Hearn made another comment that's got everyone analyzing this situation from a completely different angle. Hearn said he would never underestimate Carl Froch in any kind of street fight or unconventional combat scenario, acknowledging Froch's legitimate toughness and extensive fighting history that extends beyond professional boxing. However, Hearn also suggested that John Fury's physical size and unpredictable nature could lead him to resort to unconventional or potentially illegal tactics if a real confrontation occurred outside official boxing rules. He joked that if both men came into close contact during an actual altercation, Froch would likely respond with immediate aggression that could escalate the situation beyond anyone's control. Hearn's comments reflect the entertainment aspect of their rivalry rather than serious sporting analysis. But they also highlight how this confrontation has moved beyond traditional boxing promotion into something that resembles genuine personal conflict between two men who clearly have no respect for each other.
I feel like I might be the chosen one. I feel like it might be my job to finally shut this big gobshite up. All he does is run around, running his mouth, beating his chest, the ultimate man and all that bollocks. So John, for one final time, listen to me so it goes into that thick skull. I accept your challenge, but know one thing. When that first bell goes, I'm going to come over to your corner and absolutely stick it on you, Cobra style, and set about you and make a mess of you. You know why? Because you're a bully and you need putting in your place.
Carl Froch just made a declaration that's sending shockwaves through the boxing community. He says he feels destined to silence John Fury permanently and end this ongoing verbal confrontation that's been dominating boxing headlines for weeks. Froch's statement reflects his aggressive competitive mindset, directly calling Fury a bully and criticizing his behavior during promotional events as damaging to boxing's professional image. He promises that once the first bell rings, he'll take complete control of the fight and attack Fury using his signature aggressive boxing style that made him one of the most feared middleweights in boxing history. Froch believes Fury's public behavior has genuinely damaged the sport's reputation and needs to be addressed through decisive action inside the ring. The comment suggests deep personal frustration rather than simple promotional rivalry, indicating that Froch views this as an opportunity to make a statement about proper conduct in professional boxing. This narrative has evolved into a complex mixture of professional challenge, emotional conflict, and entertainment marketing that's keeping fans completely invested in whether this rivalry will actually transition from words to physical combat.
Froch on fighting because I'm quite sure Carl's going to rip the life out of John after today. I think John did a job. John did a job and got the excitement going, got people talking. That's exactly.
Johnny Nelson provided the final piece of analysis that explains why this entire situation has captured the boxing world's attention so completely. Nelson says fans are genuinely attracted to this rivalry because of the unpredictable fighting personalities involved and the authentic emotions being displayed by both men. He believes the confrontation between Carl Froch and John Fury has successfully generated the kind of public interest and mainstream conversation that boxing desperately needs to stay relevant in today's entertainment landscape. Nelson suggests that while the face-off behavior may appear controversial to traditional boxing fans, it actually helped build genuine excitement around fight promotion in ways that scripted trash talk never could. According to Nelson, Fury's actions during promotional events created discussion points that kept people talking about this matchup across social media platforms and sports news outlets. Nelson also predicts that if this fight actually happens, Froch could potentially target Fury with unprecedented aggression inside the ring, turning their personal animosity into devastating boxing action. The rivalry is being framed as a classic boxing promotion success story, where genuine controversy and authentic aggression help increase audience anticipation for fights that might otherwise struggle to capture mainstream attention. So there you have it. What started as a simple face-off has exploded into one of the most talked-about promotional stories in modern boxing, complete with headbutts, financial negotiations, and two men who genuinely seem to hate each other's guts. John Fury's emotional, unpredictable personality has collided with Carl Froch's aggressive confidence to create a rivalry that's part personal vendetta, part business opportunity, and part entertainment spectacle. The real question now is whether this confrontation represents genuine competitive ambition or simply promotional theater designed to generate revenue and keep audiences engaged. But honestly, based on everything we've seen, I think both men have moved way past the point of pretending this is just business. This feels personal, dangerous, and completely unpredictable. So here's my question for you, drop it in the comments. Are you backing Carl Froch's technical skill and experience, or do you think John Fury's raw aggression and unpredictability could shock the boxing world? If this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind all the drama, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because this story is far from over and things are about to get even crazier. I'll see you in the next one.